Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Kimberly Johnson, affectionately known as Dr. Kim. I'm a practicing medical doctor and a skincare enthusiast. Today I'm back with another skincare line review, and that is CeraVe. And if you know me, or if you've been following me long enough, you know I love CeraVe products. So get your pen and paper and let's get into it. One of the things I like the most about CeraVe products is the ingredients. And you can see that there was a lot of thought put into what they use and how the products were formulated. And as I say, they were formulated with dermatologists, and it shows. Now, their signature is that they use ceramides, and the technology that they use to get the ceramides in, the ceramides are encapsulated. If you know, ceramides are very unstable, and so you would understand that encapsulating the molecule will make it more stable, makes for better delivery into the skin, and it will be a slower release throughout the day. So that is excellent. And we know that ceramides are very important for restoring or keeping the strength of the skin barrier. And we also know that for persons with skin of color, we have less ceramides than, say, Caucasian skin. So when it comes to our skincare products, we really should make an effort to have ceramides as a part of it. So CeraVe is very good for us. The next thing I like about CeraVe is the price point compared to the size of the products. Come on. They're giving us quality, large volume for reasonable costs. I mean, most of the CeraVe products are less than $20 US, which is excellent. Most times it's hard to find good quality products for that low of a price point. So hats off to CeraVe for that. Another good thing about CeraVe is that they have taken control of the basics of our skincare. And I mean cleansers, they have retinoids, they have moisturizers, they have really put effort into the basics. And I'm going to go through some of my favorite products from CeraVe. They have quite a bit, but I won't go through everything, but I'll go through some of the common ones or some of the more important ones with you. I'll start out with cleansers, and hands down, I think CeraVe has the best cleansers. It doesn't matter if you don't want to use the rest of the products, you need a CeraVe cleanser. And when I do all the polls and the questions on my Instagram and Twitter, most persons are using CeraVe cleansers. I mean, it's a no-brainer. They have a cleanser for everything. And if you watch my video on the best cleansers, I went into detail in some of their cleansers, and in every category of skin type, there is a cleanser from CeraVe that will suit you. So I'll go through the cleansers. It's in no particular order. The first one I'll talk about is the CeraVe Foaming Facial Cleanser for normal to oily skin. And this is the first cleanser from CeraVe that I've used. I've been using it, as I said before, from 2014, I think, 2013 or 14. And I used this because I had very oily skin from polycystic ovarian syndrome, or PCOS. And so it got rid of the oils. I didn't look as greasy, and it didn't leave me feeling dry and my skin feeling tight. So I really liked it, and it's good to use, I would say, at the end of the day. And again, CeraVe products are gentle on the skin with ceramides, and most of them contain hyaluronic acid. They're fragrance free, so it's good for those with very sensitive skin. This contains, again, hyaluronic acid and niacinamide. And niacinamide is also good for oil control. So I really liked this. However, when my skin was not as oily, I started having dryness when I used this, and it would make sense, because if you don't have excess oil production or oily skin, then this would definitely be stripping whatever oil you have from your skin. So I added a different cleanser to this one. So if I'm not very oily, I don't reach for this. The next cleanser I want to talk about is the CeraVe Renewing SA Cleanser. And this, they say, it's for normal skin. It does contain salicylic acid, again, ceramides. What I like about this, it does also contain niacinamide. So it's good if you have oily skin, but it has salicylic acid, but not at 2%. No, they don't tell exactly what the percentage is, which is one thing I wish they had done, because for those who don't know how to read an INCI list or an ingredients list for a product, you wouldn't understand what the estimated salicylic acid content in this would be. So I estimated it at about 0.5%, which is low. But you still have that salicylic acid as a part of it. And this would be good for those with not so oily skin, would be good for those who are dealing with anti-aging skincare and who have non-inflammatory acne like blackheads and whiteheads, but not very bad. So I had gone to this when I didn't have inflammatory acne, but just to maintain or to prevent acne. So this is what I would recommend the SA cleanser for. The next one is one of my favorites actually, and this is the Hydrating Cream to Foam Cleanser, and this is one of their newer cleansers. Again, ceramides, hyaluronic acid, it has amino acids. It doesn't have niacinamide. As I said, when my skin was not as oily as before and I stopped using the foaming facial cleanser, I resorted to this, which gave me some hydration, and it didn't have the niacinamide, which will pull out excess oils. So it's creamy, so it's moisturizing, but it still lathers to a foam, which will help to control oil if you still have, you know, a little oil, but not as much as the foaming facial cleanser. And it does have salicylic acid. Again, they don't specify the percentage, but it's a lower percent than 2%. And it also has a lot of fatty hydrating ingredients, and it has benzoic acid. So if you do have acne, inflammatory but not so bad, non-inflammatory, this is also very good for you. So this worked out perfect for me. I think I'm going to be stuck with this one forever, because I had dehydrated skin, which is, it's producing oils but still feels dry. So this was perfect for me. And I have acne prone skin. I don't get flares as much, but this is good in preventing acne. The next cleanser I'll talk about is one for those with acne, and in particular inflammatory acne, so the pustules and cystic acne and so on. And this is the CeraVe Foaming Cream Cleanser with 4% benzoyl peroxide. And we know that benzoyl peroxide can be drying to the skin, especially in higher percentages. And this one I purchased really for my teenage sister who had inflammatory acne, and when I had breakouts I would use this, and it was definitely not drying to my skin at all. It was very effective. It does contain hyaluronic acid and niacinamide, niacinamide is helpful for decreasing oil production, which will lead to acne. So this was very, very good for me. Again, if you do have inflammatory acne, this would be good for you to use. So that's the CeraVe Foaming Cream Cleanser. And then the last one I'll mention is the CeraVe Acne Control Cleanser, and this now contains 2% salicylic acid, which they state on the bottle. I wish it would state the percentage for all of them, but we assume that the others are way less based on how it is written on the INCI list. So the Acne Control Cleanser now would be for those, again, with very active acne, and especially non-inflammatory acne. So this would be good for you to use daily. It's 2% salicylic acid, but it's not drying. So again, another good one for those with active acne. It also contains sodium benzoate and benzoic acid, which is what benzoyl peroxide converts to fight inflammatory acne. But it's in a very low percent. So again, you're kind of getting dual effect, but more so the salicylic acid effects. Another cleanser, which is very good for those with sensitive skin, is the CeraVe Hydrating Facial Cleanser. Now, this is one of their simplest cleansers, and it doesn't have many actives. It's very hydrating, moisturizing. So this one is recommended for those with, I would say, if you have eczema prone skin or very sensitive skin where you can't tolerate a lot of actives, then that's the one for you. If you have a very damaged skin barrier, then that's the one you should be using until you have, restored your skin barrier to be able to use other cleansers with more active ingredients. So that's a very good one for those with very dry skin. Now to their retinoids, and the first one I'll talk about, which is the preferred retinoid for younger persons or persons with acne scarring or post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. And this is the resurfacing retinol serum. Now, this is a fave for many persons because the effects are just so dramatic. And as usual, it does have ceramides. However, it contains encapsulated retinol, which is what I like. It shows that they put thought into their products. Now, we know that retinol can be very irritating. So what they did was encapsulate the molecule. And I spoke about this in my retinoid video. They encapsulated the molecule, which makes it less irritating while it penetrates the skin and slower release. And therefore, the effects are there without the irritation. And that makes it so that you can use it more often. So you can use it daily if you need to. But I don't use retinoids daily, but you may because it's less irritating. It also contains licorice root extract, and that's in the form of, because maybe you look at the ingredients list and you can't identify where it is. That would be in the form of dipotassium glycyrrhizate, if I pronounce that correctly. And so that is the licorice root extract. And we know that licorice root extract is a tyrosinase inhibitor, which will help in the prevention and treatment of hyperpigmentation. It also contains niacinamide, and niacinamide is a tyrosinase inhibitor as well, and it is good for acne prevention. So I would say for those who have acne or post-acne hyperpigmentation, or for the younger persons, this is the one. This is a retinol of choice for you from CeraVe. But they also have the skin renewing retinol serum, and this also has encapsulated retinol, but this one will be more for those who are trying to implement retinoid in their anti-aging routine, so for the older, more mature folks. And the difference is it does contain niacinamide, which is good as an antioxidant, good for anti-aging as well, but they excluded the licorice root extract. And it also has more hydrating fatty ingredients like triglycerides, glycerin, and so on. And we know that as you get older, the skin becomes drier, and so hydration becomes a very important part. So that is the difference with this one as opposed to the resurfacing retinol. So this is more for anti-aging skincare, and that's from the renewing line. What they also included was Sycorium intybus root extract. Again, I hope I didn't destroy the pronunciation. But what this is good for is it has anti-aging benefits, it has antioxidant benefits, and there are studies to show the effects in aging and how it prevents aging. So they included that, which is very good again for anti-aging. And it also has tocopherol, which is vitamin E, again, an antioxidant. So you see the difference in how they formulated this one more in keeping with anti-aging, and the resurfacing retinol in keeping with acne or hyperpigmentation. The next product that I'll mention is the CeraVe Acne Control Gel. And this is one of my favorite products of all time. And this is a part of the acne line. So it came out with the resurfacing retinol serum. And what I love about this is, I mean, it says acne control gel, which it will help with acne because it contains 2% salicylic acid, which we know salicylic acid is the mother of acne treatment. But it also contains AHAs, glycolic acid, and lactic acid. So in my head, this works also as an exfoliant, a chemical exfoliant, and a very good one at that. The good thing is that it's CeraVe, so it contains ceramides, and it will be moisturizing despite having salicylic acid 2%, lactic acid, and glycolic acid. Now they claim that it minimizes pores and hydrates while maintaining the protective skin barrier. Yes, I agree, totally. The problem with this is that, again, they did not state the percentage of glycolic acid and lactic acid in it. But when you look at the ingredients list, they are high up on the ingredients list. So it makes you assume that they're in a moderate percentage. So I was a bit scared of it, that it may cause irritation, because we know glycolic acid is very irritating in very high percentages, and it's a very fine molecule, so it'll penetrate the skin very fast. And so if it's in a high percentage, it may be irritating. And also, you don't know the pH of the formulation, so the pH can affect, again, how certain things, certain ingredients affect the skin or how they perform. But when I went out and got it and used it, oh my gosh, on their site, they boast that you will see difference, a change in your skin, you know, the texture and, you know, the brightness of the skin after 3 days of use. No, again, because it does contain quite a few chemical exfoliants, I would not word it by saying use it after the first 3 days of use. I would say after the 3 uses. So it would be best to say after the first 3 uses, you'll notice a difference. They say you can use it daily. Again, if you have very sensitive skin, I would not recommend using it daily. So I'd say twice per week. But I went ahead and decided to use it 3 days just to see if it lived up to what they said. And one, which was very surprising, it caused 0 irritation to my skin. It was moisturizing. I was so shocked because it's a gel-like consistency, you know, and it's a gel-like consistency, you know, it's transparent and it's lightweight, but it was moisturizing. It didn't leave my skin dry. After the first day of use, the following morning, my skin felt more supple, and I think that was the effect of the glycolic acid plus, you know, the ceramides and all the ingredients. So the glycolic acid will allow for better penetration of those products, those ingredients. After the second day, I started seeing a visible difference in how my skin looked. So my skin started to look, I would say, brighter. And by the third day, after the third day, oh gosh, so my skin was noticeably brighter. It started to look smoother, and it just felt very soft and supple. And I was like, there is no way this product worked that fast. But again, it made me wonder, again, the contents or the percentage of the glycolic acid and the lactic acid, because yeah, that would explain why it worked so fast and it was so effective. But very good product. But you have to be careful if you have very sensitive skin. And I mean, we're all wearing sunscreen already, but if you're wearing this, and again, use this only at night, I would say, because it has AHAs and, you know, those cause photosensitivity. So use at night, but you must be wearing sunscreen the day after. You must. It is a must. to wear sunscreen the day after. We should be wearing sunscreen every day. So love, 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 love this product. And while I'm on the topic of exfoliants, I'll mention their body line, which is the CeraVe Rough and Bumpy line. And they have the SA body wash and the CeraVe SA cream for rough and bumpy skin. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be used on your face, but it might be able to, but I use it on my body. So for those with KP, which some people may call chicken skin, where you may have roughness of the skin, these are good. And when I go into body acne and exfoliation for the body, we'll talk more about these. And I haven't used them for long enough to tell the exact effects, and I will say I'm not very compliant, but I'll talk about those later on. But this contains salicylic acid, which really is good for those with acne on the body and bacne. It leaves the skin very hydrating, and it's fragrance free. So if you have sensitive skin, this is okay to use in showering. I use it 3 days per week. And the cream now, it contains salicylic acid, niacinamide, but it also contains lactic acid. So I wouldn't recommend using this in the daytime, and so use it in the evening or nighttime. And the following day, ensure that you are wearing sunscreen. Please, you should be wearing sunscreen on the face, on the body. So when I use this on the areas where I have KP or where I want exfoliation, I also ensure that the following day I'm wearing sunscreen on my body, right? So I have sunscreen that I use on my body. So that's important, but I'll go into details with the body line, the rough and bumpy line later on. So the next product I'll talk about is a CeraVe Skin Renewing Vitamin C Serum. And again, this is a part of the anti-aging line that they did. Now, this contains 10% L-ascorbic acid. If you watched my vitamin C video, you'll understand that pure vitamin C in the form of L-ascorbic acid may be irritating to the skin. It is less stable than the other vitamin C derivatives, and so it is not good for those who have very sensitive skin, let alone being used in the daytime. It will oxidize faster, so it becomes that orange color. So that is seen in this product. Now, again, this is CeraVe. It has ceramides. It's very moisturizing, and we know that ascorbic acid is very good as a tyrosinase inhibitor in preventing and treating hyperpigmentation. It is also very good for aging skin, you know, to boost collagen and so on. But as I said, pure ascorbic acid may be irritating. So this is not one of my favorites, but if you don't have very sensitive skin, you may use it at night. But I will say you have to use it up fast because it will oxidize quickly. It's very moisturizing, it's lightweight. The good thing about it is that it has 10% ascorbic acid or vitamin C. So that's a lower percent, so it will be less irritating than a serum that would have a very high percent of ascorbic acid. So that's where I am with it. Again, it's lightweight, moisturizing, so not bad, but I wouldn't say it's the best vitamin C serum. I would have preferred if they used encapsulated ascorbic acid. They didn't state it, so I'm not sure if it is, but I highly doubt. So it'd be best if they used it in the encapsulated form, where it would be less irritating, or if they used a less irritating derivative of vitamin C. The next thing I don't like about this, it contains alcohol denat or denatured alcohol, which I talk about a lot. So another thing that goes against persons with sensitive or dry skin, that alcohol denat or denatured alcohol is drying to the skin. However, you know, they back it up with the ceramides and so on, so less drying. But again, if you have sensitive skin, I wouldn't recommend this for you. The next product I'll talk about is their hydrating hyaluronic acid serum. And when I got this, I was so impressed because it just absorbs quickly into the skin. It leaves the skin with this smooth satin finish, and it was more of an emulsion than a thin serum. So this is what it looks like, and then you rub it into the skin and it's so hydrating, and again it gives a smooth satin finish. The problem with this is if you are not using it on damp skin, you may cause more harm than good, and I mentioned this in videos before. But any hyaluronic acid, if you're not using it on damp skin, then you may end up drying the skin out more, because we know that hyaluronic acid will pull water from the environment, from anywhere that it will get water. So if you're in a very dry environment, like here in Jamaica, where there's not much moisture in the environment or in the atmosphere to pull into the skin, then it will pull water from your skin, so leave your skin very dry. So I would say apply this on damp skin, or you can use what I use, which is a nano mister, to mist the face and then apply this. But it does leave the skin feeling very hydrated and supple when applied on damp skin. So I love it. And naturally, this will follow by looking at some of their moisturizers. And I'll start with my favorite moisturizer by CeraVe. And this is the CeraVe Moisturizing Cream. Now, this moisturizer is one of the first ones I've used by CeraVe. And it is thick, but it doesn't feel thick on the face. And you can use it on the body as well. And it's thick enough for the body, but not too thick for the face. I love it. It's very hydrating. So I use it mainly at night after I've added all my active ingredients. Then I'll apply this, and when I wake up in the morning, I'm so moisturized. It's fragrance free. It has the ceramides as usual. I mean, I think even if you have oily skin, you can still get away with using this and you won't feel weighed down. I love it. So the moisturizing cream is always the top recommendation for moisturizers from CeraVe. Next, there is the Daily Moisturizing Lotion. And this is significant in that it's called a lotion, so it is thinner in consistency than the moisturizing cream. So creams are always thicker than lotions. The Daily Moisturizing Lotion, yes, it's for the face. It's thinner. So I would say this will be more for those with oily skin, but you have to bear in mind that you may not get the same kind of hydration that you would from the moisturizing cream. So I'd say if you're using the Daily Moisturizing Lotion, it's best to use in the daytime because it will be more lightweight. And while I'm on the topic of moisturizers, I'll talk about their facial moisturizing lotion, which is the AM and PM. So the AM has sunscreen, so it's broad spectrum SPF 30, and the PM doesn't. No, most persons I realize use this, which it works out because it's moisturizing plus it has SPF, dual effect. For me, I started out using this alone, but then I realized it wasn't as moisturizing as I'd want it for the daytime because I have drier skin. So if I'm using this, I actually would use my CeraVe moisturizing cream and apply this on top, because what I'm using this for was really the SPF, but I realized it was SPF 30. So if you watch my sunscreen video, for instance, I have hyperpigmented skin, so I'm prone to hyperpigmentation. So I would prefer SPF 50. And the next thing is that it's a combination sunscreen. So it has chemical filters and mineral filters. So it has zinc oxide, but it also has octinoxate, octocrylene, you know, which are chemical filters. So it's not bad, but I use this mainly when I'm inside and I'm not going outside, or I'm stuck in an office, then I'll use this. But if I'm going outside, I'm going to use my UV visor, or I'm going to apply mineral SPF 50. So it's not bad. It's a good starter. It's a combination sunscreen. It has SPF 30, which is good protection, but not the best. And it's moisturizing, but not super moisturizing like the moisturizing cream. So I realized that a lot of persons do use this. When I did a poll and asked questions about what sunscreen persons were using, a lot of persons said this. So it's very popular. Not bad. And while I'm on the topic of sunscreens, I'll talk about their mineral sunscreen. And this has to be the worst product from CeraVe. I really hate to say it, but I hate this product. It is mineral, purely mineral, SPF 50. It has ceramides, has niacinamide. So the active ingredients are titanium dioxide 9% and zinc oxide at 7%. I bought this because I'm like, yes, CeraVe will never steer me wrong because all their products are great. But no, this left me with the worst white cast. I mean, even after rubbing it in and waiting, you know, the typical 15 minutes, it was still like toothpaste on my face. So, and it was hard to rub in. So it's not very, it doesn't slide around on the face. So I'm sure it will give you maximum protection, but it doesn't, this is not something you want to be wearing outside daily. Even if you're going to the beach and it's okay. I'm not wearing this. No. So what I use this for is on my body. As I said before, if I use the Rough and Bumpy cream, then I'll apply this to those areas that I used it during the daytime. But oh gosh, no, CeraVe, come again. You need a better pure mineral sunscreen. It doesn't, it doesn't, look at that. Look at that white cast. Not good. No. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend this as a mineral sunscreen. You'll have a white cast, a horrible one. So I got disappointed with this, but you know, if you watch my sunscreen video, I'll show you better options for pure mineral SPF sunscreens. So that was the CeraVe review. As I said, I love CeraVe. It's one of my favorites. It's what I started out with, and they continue to do great products. Thank you, CeraVe. Thank you, Tom Allison. Yes, love your products. I wasn't able to go through all their products, but as I continue doing more personalized routines, I'll mention some other products from CeraVe. As usual, it was my pleasure to give information. Thank you so much for watching, and you'll see me in the next video. Bye.